What's up, world? It's your guy, Guitar K, and today we're going to be talking about a real powerful three-letter word, joy. Joy, joy. Don't let nobody steal your joy, man. Hold on to that thing, man. Hold on to that thing tight. It's a lot of joy jackers and naysayers running around in this world today, man. Misery loves company, and you know that's true. Don't let nobody steal your joy. Now, I don't know if any of y'all seen, the Disney movie Inside Out. And the leader of her mind was joy. And they had that right because I think that we should be driven by joy. But one thing I think they had it wrong. Joy is not an emotion. Happiness is an emotion, but joy and happiness is two different things. Joy is a practice. If you read the Bible, joy is one of the fruits of the Spirit, like kindness and patience, long suffering. Joy is something that you practice, like you practice patience, you practice kindness, you practice joy. That way you can have joy in any situation. Joy doesn't come from outside things. Like happiness comes from something outside. Somebody do something for you, it makes you happy. Somebody gives you something, it makes you happy. Joy doesn't work the same way. You can be joyful in prison. You can be joyful on the beach. Joy comes from the inside. Joy is how you feel no matter what's going on around you. That's why you can have a cancer patient with 1 week left to live and they're giving off joy like it's nobody's business. You got blind people in this world that can see more joy than somebody that got 20/20 vision, man. Joy is yours. Can't nobody give it to you or take it from you. Joy is yours to do what you want to do with it 24 hours a day. You know how God gives us self-will? God gives us joy. It's ours. Nobody can't give it to you. Nobody can't take it away from you, man. And don't let nobody steal your joy. You are the author of your own book. Don't give nobody that pen, man. You write this story. In 1999, a rock band, Incubus, they had a hit song called Drive. And the hook goes, no matter what tomorrow brings, I will be there with open arms and open eyes. That is how life goes, man. It's how you look at life. It's your perception of what you see. I heard a motivational speech by Steve Harvey. He said that when you wake up in the morning, it depends on how you look at the day upon how your day's going to go. He said it's like you have a good foreman and a negative foreman. And depending upon which one you tell that you want to have, how you want to operate, which one you want to clock in with, that's how your day's going to go. He said you want to have a positive day, the positive foreman clocks in. You're like, okay, now, come on, want to have a good day. So we're going to have a good day. But if you tell a negative foreman that you want to have a negative day, we're going to have a negative day. So you had to have a negative day. And I find that to be so true because it's going to be how you look at things. So let's just go with a regular day. You wake up, you got to go to work. Now, if you look at it positively, you're going to look at it like, yes, I'm blessed that I have a job to go to. But if you look at it negatively, you'll be like, oh man, hey, I got to go with this goddamn job again. You look at it positively. You're stuck in traffic. Oh, well, at least I have a car to be stuck in traffic with. Like, okay, I'm going to get there eventually. You look at it negatively. Goddamn, stuck in this goddamn traffic. Oh man, I wish this motherfucker hurry up and all this. I'm telling you, it all depends on how you look at it, man. Don't let nothing steal your joy. Joy is a fruit of your spirit. You practice it. The more you practice it, the better you get at it. And some people like I said, there's a lot of joy jackers and negative people. They'll be like, oh man, there ain't no way that you're this positive all the time. Look, it's not a fact of being this positive all the time. They'll say, oh, you faking it. There ain't no way, no way. Look, I'm not faking anything. I'm trying to be joyful. I'm practicing it. Like I said, it don't matter what's going on. You're right. There's a lot of things that happen to me that would cause me to have a bad day. But no matter what happens, I'm trying to have a good day. It's nothing fake about it. I'm practicing it. I'm trying to have a good day. And look, I always say, man, disclaimer, I have not always been this way. Quick story. I remember having an argument with my girlfriend back in the day. This was a girl that I used to mess with years ago. I had an argument with her and I was angry with her. So we went over to her mom's house and we was having a good dinner and everything like that, but I was angry. So I was forcing myself not to have a good time. It didn't have nothing to do with her mom and her family. I love these people. The dinner was good. We watched one of the funniest movies I ever seen at the time. I think it was at the same time, around the time when the movie Pineapple Express came out. Now at that time, I was smoking weed. The movie was about weed. It was one of the funniest movies I seen at the time, but I forced myself not to laugh. I forced myself not to have a good time because I was angry at her. So I allowed her to steal my joy that day. I forced myself to have a bad day because I wanted to have a bad day. That's a prime example of how we control our joy. I gave her the pen to my life that day. I let her write my story and made me have a miserable day. And I tried to force them to have a miserable day because, like I said in the beginning, and it's not something that I say, it's something that everybody knows. Misery loves company, man. But so many times we will let people bring us to a miserable state. And it's so easy to do if we're not mindful of our own actions. You know how you watch a movie and you can see the character doing dumb stuff that you like, don't do that. Don't let nobody steal your joy. Don't let nobody control your life. But we can't watch ourselves like that. We need to watch ourselves like we're watching a movie and be smart about directing ourselves. Like how we can be so smart and tell that character on TV, don't do this dumb thing. Don't do that dumb thing. Don't let nobody steal your joy. We need to be able to watch ourselves objectively like that. And don't let nobody steal our joy, man. You know, I love to be positive all the time. And I exude positivity all the time, man, no matter what. If I don't have nothing nice to say, I'm not going to say nothing. I always seek to understand before I'm trying to be understood, man, because it's different strokes for different folks. I don't expect people to see things the way that I see. I don't try to control things that I can't control. These are ways to keep your joy. If something is out of your hands, you got to let it go. When you're trying to control people and tell people what to do and expect people to act the way that you would act, you're never going to be joyful. And when they say that when you're not in joy, you're in judgment. Because when you're not in joy, you're thinking that you should be able to tell people, oh, you should be this way, and you're pointing fingers. And you know what they say, when you're pointing fingers, you got fingers pointing back at yourself, man. Misery loves company, man. People need to stop walking around being full of all this misery. Find joy. You got to do it on purpose. You got to practice it. You got to desire to be joyful. You got to wake up like, I'm going to have a good day today. My grandmother used to always say, always talk about what my grandmother said. And I'm pretty sure she got this from somewhere. A lot of things that she told me, it's not that she made them up off the top of her head. It wasn't like grandma was out here freestyling. She just had wisdom that she picked up along the line and she lived by it. She said that no matter where we at in life, we are either coming out of a storm, in the middle of a storm, or heading into one. And God said to count it all joy. It's all joy. You just count it. You just move accordingly. You ain't got to be angry all the time. You ain't got to have your face looking like you're sucked on a lemon all the time, man. It ain't that bad. If you're alive and you're able to stand up on your 2 feet, you're okay. Why do I say that? Because there's some people that can't stand up on their own 2 feet and they still have joy in their heart. And they're not walking around all angry and pissed off and boo-hoo and wah ha 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 and whining and crying and pouting and so full of negativity all the time, man. I'm telling you, if anybody know me, it's one thing that I can't stand is somebody that's negative all the time, man. I'm telling you, I just can't deal with it. But you know me, I always like to go to the Webster's definition. So we're going to look up what Webster say about the word joy. Now, here's what Webster had to say about joy. The Webster definition of joy is the example of being happy all the time. Now, I kind of disagree with that. I don't think that joy is exactly being happy. Like I said, I think happiness is an emotion. I'm gonna ask AI. You know, AI lately always have some good stuff to say. Now, you know, I'm not one of the people that agree with that AI should be running the world. But when you know how it'll say that people also ask on Google. I agree with some of the things that it says. So here we go. A feeling of great pleasure and happiness. That's what Webster says about joy. I kind of disagree with that. Again, a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. But it says, what is the true meaning of joy? And this is what I do agree with. It says, true joy is a deep and lasting sense of well-being, often described as a feeling that comes from within, rather than being a fleeting emotion triggered by external events. I agree with that 100%. It says it's connected to a deeper sense of purpose, meaning, and connection, and can be found even in the face of suffering. Unlike happiness, which is often temporary, joy is more enduring and can be cultivated through inner work and aligning with one's values. That's what I'm talking about, man. See, happiness is tied to an ending or an outcome. Joy is the journey. Even if things don't work out the way that you wanted them to be, you can still be joyful, man. It ain't an end game with joy. Joy is ongoing. You can always be joyful every day. You can just be joyful because you're alive. You can just be joyful because you're sticking to your guns, because you're not doing anything that out of the pocket that you don't want to do. Like I said, stick to your morals and your values. As long as you're doing the stuff that you want to do and not doing anything against what you believe in, you're joyful about that. You can find joy in that, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say you believe in something or fall for everything, you stand up for something or you fall for anything. That's a joyful life right there. As long as you stand enough for what you believe in, that's pure joy. And I believe in that, man. Like I said, you ever been to like a cancer ward and you got them young kids that's not going to live long? We grown adults and we can't find joy and we done live lives, years and years. And you got kids in there that's probably not even going to live to be teenagers, but they just full of joy. They just full of joy. Like I said, it ain't about happiness. You have to want to be joyful. You got people out here that just want to be miserable. I think they should split up North America and South America and make it miserable America and joyful America, or negative America and positive America. Put all the negative people where they want to be and leave the positive people where they want to be. And you know somebody that's negative, every time you're trying to do something, you're building up your life, negative people always call it something little. Anything you do, you get a job. I say you got your little job now. You get a raise. You got your little raise. You get a car. You got your little car. Man, why so negative? Why so miserable, man? Be proud. Congratulate. Another quick story. I remember I got a bonus check, right? I had one like employee of the month or something. My manager, she was one of them just negative, miserable people. So I come in the office to get my bonus check. She's like, I bet you're coming here to get your little bonus check. I'm like, no, I'm just in here to get my bonus check. But if they come in little or big, by all means, give me the biggest one. Look, her face looked crazy. But yeah, man, why people always gotta be so negative and miserable, man? I just don't subscribe to negativity and miserable stuff, man. We gotta keep joy. Joy. Practice it. Practice it and you'll get better at it. I'm always positive because I'm waking up to be positive. I want to be joyful. Y'all remember the Pee Wee Herman show? We had words of the day. And every time you hear it, you scream real loud. So look, today's word is joy. Joy. Every time you hear the word joy, you scream real loud. Let's practice it. Joy. Ah! Joy. This is your God Guitar K. Be more shit. Gotta practice that joy. Ah! Be more shit.